Hey everybody, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about all of my first trimester pregnancy stuff. Cravings, symptoms, doctor's appointments, all that stuff. If you did not see our pregnancy announcement video, I will link that down below. Check that out. And I'll probably do one of these for the second and third also. And just kind of like a few other videos sprinkled in here and there about it. Because this is all new to me. So the first symptom that I ever noticed before I even knew that I was pregnant was the acne. I have very acne prone skin to begin with, but it had gotten a lot better. And it was to the point where my hormonal acne was really only flaring up right around that time of the month. And I would only get one or two blemishes right around my chin, and that was it. And then the month that I got pregnant, it was just like 6 or 8 all at once, all in my T-zone, just a nightmare. Big and painful and lingering. I still have a scar here. This one lingered for like 2 months and just would not go away. So that really sucked. And it sucks also that you can't use a lot of your typical acne medications on them, which makes them linger even longer. So aren't I lucky? I'm definitely not one of those glowing pregnant women because my skin without foundation looks terrible. The next thing that I noticed was a lot of gas. A lot. It was almost to the point where I was getting annoyed. Like it would be present and I would be like, really? Again? So I really did not enjoy that. Now it has calmed down a little bit because I've now finished my first trimester. I'm going into my second right now. And luckily that part is mostly over for me. I just every once in a while I experience it, whereas before it was all the time. The next thing that I experienced was extreme fatigue. It would be to the point where I would have to stop driving in the middle of the day and take like an hour and a half long nap because I just literally could not keep my eyes open. And I am not really a napper. If you guys have seen some of my other videos for the past year or so, there have been times where I've stayed up 24 hours, 36 hours, just because I'm trying to get things done and I don't really get that tired. So I'm just, okay, I'll just stay up, So I'm more of the person that can stay up long amounts of time as opposed to napping. But now it's like nap city. That lasted for probably a good month. It's just now starting to taper off. Yesterday I actually took a nap, but that was more because I had taken a Benadryl because of my allergies. But before that, it was like every single day I needed a nap, and then I could still sleep at night because I was just so tired. But now if I take a nap, I have trouble sleeping at night and I get insomnia, which is another symptom. So that really sucks. So I try not to nap. After that, around week 6, the morning sickness kicked in and it was so bad. Oh my gosh. Like I woke up one morning and just immediately started dry heaving because my stomach was empty. I had nothing I could even throw up. And it was just almost to the point that I thought I was going to suffocate because I couldn't breathe because I was dry heaving so much. So that was super fun. A lot of people feel like they can't even eat at all whenever they get morning sickness, whereas for me, I noticed that the thing for me was that as soon as my stomach got empty, I needed to eat something right away or else the nausea would come back full force. But it's like I couldn't eat a whole lot. So I would have to eat a few crackers or a yogurt or whatever little thing of oatmeal. And then within an hour, like my stomach feels empty, the nausea's coming back, I got to eat something else. So it was just constant little snacks all throughout the day. Now it's getting a little bit better because the nausea was just constant all day long. As soon as my stomach felt empty, I had to eat something. And now I can go a few hours between eating, but again, if I don't eat, I immediately feel nauseous. I went like a good 7 hours, I think, a couple days ago without eating because we are just so busy. And then on the way home from the doctor's appointment, I was literally hanging my head out the window, just gulping air because I was so nauseous and I just wanted to get home and like slam a pizza. So I do still have to keep on top of that and like make sure that I'm at least eating something. And I also have to eat a little bit right before bed. Otherwise I wake up in the middle of the night and feel really crappy. I have had a few cravings, and not really a whole lot of like food aversions really, but it's more like I know what I want and I know what I don't want, and that can change on a day-to-day basis. So whenever I first got pregnant, I was driving down south. I think it was like Arizona, New Mexico, and I wanted a chili cheese dog so bad. I would have killed someone for a chili cheese dog. And I was thinking about it all day long, and I was like, okay, I know that there's this one truck stop that if I can just get to, I can have a chili cheese dog. And then I was like, wait a minute, I can't have deli meat. So what are the chances that I can have a hot dog? And then I looked it up, and they recommend not having hot dogs. And my dreams were crushed, just crushed. So I didn't get my chili cheese dog. I am craving like potatoes a lot, fries or like baked potato or tater tots, any kind of like mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes sound really good right now. Any kind of potato I'm really into right now. I liked those before though. Beef sometimes I'm not in the mood for, like I would prefer chicken. But then other times I'm like, man, a burger right now would sound great. So it varies from day to day what I'm really like into. Sometimes I'm just really, really hungry and don't know what I want. And then I get really emotional about not knowing what I want to eat. And then I cry. And that's another thing is the emotions. I cry all the time now, like at the drop of a hat, I could cry. And it's always supremely silly stuff. Like a couple weeks ago, Hubs brought me a baked potato from Wendy's and a chicken sandwich for later. And I always order my chicken sandwiches without lettuce and without tomato because I don't want that crap on there. And so I put the chicken sandwich in the fridge to have for later. And then I wasn't hungry later. So I was like, I'll have it in the morning for breakfast because that's what one does. They have a chicken sandwich for breakfast. And then I got it out of the fridge to heat it up. And there was lettuce and tomato on it. And I cried. I cried so much. I was supremely upset because you can't just take it off. The sandwich tastes like the lettuce and tomato if you take it off after it's been on there overnight. You can't. So I couldn't eat it and I cried because I had nothing else to eat, even though there was food in the house. I didn't want anything else. I wanted the chicken sandwich and it was ruined. So I cried over that. I cried the other day because I didn't know what I wanted to eat and I was just so hungry and I wanted something to eat and I cried because I didn't know what I wanted. So all kinds of fun things like that. I cry at commercials and all that stuff. What else? Some not great things, not great side effects or symptoms or whatever that I've had is the first like week or so after I found out I was pregnant. So, during week 4 into 5, I had a lot of cramping, but not like period cramping really. Like I've never had bad period cramps. They've always been really mild, so I don't even know what bad ones feel like, which means that pregnancy or labor and delivery should be really fun for me. But I had a lot of just like it felt like my uterus was just like cramping and expanding and cramping and expanding. And that would go on for like 5 to 10 minutes every single day for about 5 days in a row. And it was so intense that I had to just like double over and just breathe through it. And then it would just go away. And it was like everything was fine. And that happened for about 5 days. And then nothing, you know. And then around week 11, I had woken up and had like brownish pink fluid all over my nightgown and freaked me out, especially since we were away from home. And whenever I wiped, though, there was like no, you know, discharge or anything. And then later in the day, I got a little bit of discharge that was also just straight up like just dusty brown color. But the doctor said as long as it's not red, not to worry about it too much. So I tried not to. And then a week later I had my checkup, you know, so I just waited until then since I never got like the red discharge. And they actually found that behind the placenta there is a blood clot. And they said it probably just happened from, you know, the egg burrowing in, you know, or the placenta forming or whatever. So that will resolve itself, but that's what that spotting was from. So nothing to really worry about, but it definitely freaks you out whenever it happens. And now just on occasion, I'll have a little bit of heavy feeling, way down low in my abdomen, just like there's a weight just like sitting in there, which of course there is, but it just feels almost like just a pulling, you know, sitting in there. But I only feel that every once in a while. And for the most part, you wouldn't even know that I was pregnant, you know, unless I'm like thinking about it. Sometimes if I bend over, like bend in half, I definitely feel like pressure on my stomach and I'm like, okay, I gotta like, you know, stand up a little bit. I do smell a lot of things now. Sometimes like savory smells, you know, like seasoned meat, you know, or things like that, like really gross me out. Especially, here's a weird one, especially if it is like a savory item that should be eaten hot, but is now cold. So like, let's say you were to make taco meat and put it in the fridge, and then you were to open up the Tupperware and smell that. I can't. But if it's hot again, then no big deal. But for some reason, the smell of the cold, savory, hot dishes, I can't do it. That's the big one for me, is whenever things are like that. I don't know what it is about, but I can't. I do tend to be more of a sweets person, but I'm not really craving a whole lot of sweets. I more want like chips, and salty snacks. I do still eat on occasion sweet stuff, but I gotta have the salty stuff in there. Oh, and I had to give up caffeine, which on the road, I'm always drinking like a big coffee or a Monster Energy or a 5-Hour Energy, and all those things have crap tons of caffeine in them, so I had to give that up. And that's been rough. I do sometimes drink decaf if I really just want something hot. I know they say like, all the chemical, blah, 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 blah. Listen, people have been given birth for thousands of years, and somehow those babies turned out okay. I'm sure that having a little bit of decaf ain't gonna hurt nothing, especially since the doctor says it won't. If you disagree, you can keep that to yourself because I didn't ask. That's another thing, is that whenever you get pregnant, like, people will give you so much unsolicited advice, and it's like, if I'm not specifically asking for advice and I'm telling you this is what I'm going to do, I don't need to hear that you don't agree with it, because I wasn't asking. It's my pregnancy. So I have definitely went scorched earth on a couple people because I'm just like, nope, don't need to hear it. You can keep that right to yourself. So don't feel bad about that. Like, if you're pregnant also, don't allow people to walk all over you. Like, it ain't their baby. It ain't their pregnancy. You can do what you want as long as you're not, like, causing actual damage. And if the doctor says it's not causing damage, screw them. So there's another thing that you have to deal with. Maybe a side effect of pregnancy is unwanted opinions. As far as like showing or anything, I'm not really showing. Of course, I was fat to begin with. So chances are I probably won't even show until I'm more than halfway into my pregnancy or 2/3 of the way into my pregnancy, which is fine. I don't really feel the need to have a cute bump and take all these pictures and blah, blah, blah. I just want a healthy baby. And so far, everything is great. I really did not have health issues beforehand, so everything should hopefully go smoothly with the pregnancy. So there's that. I do plan on doing things not along the traditional lines of the pregnancy timeline, which I'll do a separate video on, because I feel like that's one thing that people seem to be very opinionated on is, you know, doing pictures and doing baby shower and registering and blah, 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 blah. I don't feel the need to do any of it. So I'll probably do a separate video on, you know, things that you shouldn't feel you have to do just because other people think that you should do it. Because being online and reading so many forums and all this and that, like, there are genuinely crazy people out there that really want to dictate every single aspect of your pregnancy. So again, if you are pregnant, don't allow people to do that. I just had my 12.5-week ultrasound. Everything was good. That's where they found the blood clot. And heart rate is great. Development is great, right on track. And it was really good to see that and just know that everything's kind of going okay in there. We've already purchased some things and we're just waiting on being able to get the insurance forms back to do blood work for the in something PT testing or whatever, and then we'll know the gender after we get that test back, and then we can buy more stuff. So I'm really excited about that. I think that that's it for the first trimester. Other than just feeling generally run down and not great, it hasn't been bad, you know, and for the most part, you don't even really know that you're pregnant. Like, if you're not thinking about it constantly, like, you know, there's no, like, nothing to show. There's no, like, kicking going on or anything. So it's just kind of like you're just breezing through. I'm sure that the second trimester is going to be a lot different. Hopefully less symptoms, but more good stuff happening with baby. And I'm excited about that. So, this video is getting kind of long. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I will try to get back to you on those. And that's it. I will catch you guys next time. Bye.